Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly back bringing some more daily NBA news and highlights. As always, you guys are the real MVPs coming back each and every single day. Can't thank you enough. And also, if you're new here, then you are also greatly appreciated. And make sure you subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news. Anyways, now let's get into everything that is going on in the NBA. But first, a quick word about this video's sponsor, SeatGeek. With only 8 teams remaining in the playoffs, it's very unlikely that a majority of you guys have any reason to go to games. Now, most of you are just like me and my Pistons, sitting at home watching the game from our couch. And if you're the Raptors or the Sixers, you'll probably be joining us soon as well. But SeatGeek isn't just for NBA games. No, it's to any live events you can think of. If there's a concert or just any type of live event period that you want to go to, hook yourself up with SeatGeek. Use the promo code SDC to get $20 off your first order. Links to download are in the description box below. And the first story that we have to cover today is the Cleveland Cavaliers defeating the Toronto Raptors to take a 3-0 stranglehold lead on this series behind another LeBron James buzzer beater. And DeMar DeRozan not even getting into the game during the fourth quarter because, well, he just wasn't good at all yesterday. Bottom line is he was trash yesterday, which sucks for the rest of the team because the rest of the team played really well down the stretch. Kyle Lowry was fantastic. Serge Ibaka made plays. OG made some plays, and the Raptors showed a lot of heart yesterday, but DeMar DeRozan was nowhere to be found. And according to the reporters who were in the locker room after the game, they described DeMar DeRozan as being devastated.
With the call and post. I just left the locker room and DeMar DeRozan is devastated.
And in his post-game interview, he looked devastated. He looked depressed. He looked sad. He looked angry. He looked like a lot of things, and none of them, not a single one of them was good. And he also seemed kind of frustrated with the head coach of the Raptors, Dwayne Casey, for not putting him into the game, as when he was asked why, if there was any explanation or reason why he wasn't in the game for the fourth quarter yesterday, he said that they'd have to take that up with his coach, go ask him, because he doesn't know.
Did coach explain why you weren't out there? Or
Nah.
Understand why you were?
Nah, you gotta ask him.
And Dwayne Casey, when he was asked kind of why DeMar DeRozan wasn't into the game, he said that DeMar DeRozan was struggling with his shot, but then he also basically wasn't playing defense.
I don't know what it was. It was, you know, everybody was joining on the party, and he had a tough shooting night, 3 for 12. But again, even when you're not shooting the ball well, you still can defend and do some things that can help us win.
Look, DeMar DeRozan should be devastated. Let's just call it like it is. I know it must suck to be in this position where you're about to lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers once again, and in the most important game of the season, you didn't show up, but that's on you, my guy. And as one of the leaders of the Toronto Raptors, it's unacceptable. It's okay to have a bad shooting night. All right, it happens. But to not do anything else on the court to help your team when you're having a tough night shooting the ball, to not like give 110% on defense when you're struggling to shoot the ball, to do something else on the court to help your team get the win. As a leader, you have to do more. Find some way to help instead of just being a detriment. That's why he wasn't in the game for the fourth quarter. And props to Dwayne Casey for actually having the guts to bench their best player for the fourth quarter and doing what was best for the team. Moving on to our next story, Jayson Tatum just made NBA history. All right, so the Boston Celtics just keep surprising everyone at this point as they are turning what was supposed to be a very close series into a sweep. They now have a 3-0 lead on the Philadelphia 76ers after one of the wildest, craziest games that I have ever seen. From all the game possible winners to the confetti flying down at the wrong time, it was just madness all around. And Jayson Tatum not only made history last night, but he also would have sent Embiid packing to an early grave had he converted this dunk.
The three, Jaylen Brown, great rebound, hits Tatum, and Tatum fouled on the slam attempt by Embiid. Tatum and Embiid.
He was telling Joel Embiid, you got lucky after he missed the dunk due to contact from Joel Embiid. He was telling him you got lucky. And to me, that was kind of reminiscent of when Evan Turner was playing for the Celtics going up against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He tried to dunk on LeBron James, and LeBron James afterwards was telling him, at least you tried.
Turner got the step on Smith, rejected by James, and a foul.
Marv, you said it. He is underappreciated, underrated in defense. He went up for the block, as he
Kind of reminded me of that, except reversed and just a little different. Anyways, Tatum in this game last night scored 24 points, meaning that this was his 5th straight game in the playoffs where he scored at least 20 points. Also meaning that he has just become the youngest player in NBA history to have at least 5 straight games in which he has scored 20 points. And can we all just take a second to appreciate all of the greatness that we have in the NBA right now. All of the young talent. It's honestly disgusting how many young great players there are in the NBA already. We talk about Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons a lot, but had it not been for those two guys, in any other ordinary year, Jayson Tatum would have hands down been the rookie of the year and been considered one of the best rookie of the years in quite some time. And that's just in the regular season. In the playoffs, he's been even better, averaging 18 points per game on 45% shooting from the field. Like, if you think the NBA is the best sports league in the world right now, like, just wait 5 years. You haven't seen anything yet. Once all of these guys are in their primes and all going at it, it's gonna be like the rebirth of actual rivalry. This Boston Celtics versus Philadelphia 76ers series is going to turn into a legit rivalry in the Eastern Conference, and it's gonna be that way for a very long time. And look, this is just a scenario. Don't take this as my way of saying that I think this is what's going to happen, but imagine if LeBron James does go to Philly this summer. And then we have a rivalry between the Sixers and the Celtics where LeBron is on Philly, and then of course the Celtics have Kyrie Irving. Can you imagine how fun a 7-game series like that would be? I can't wait to see what the NBA is turning into. It's crazy. Anyways, though, since we're on the topic of Jayson Tatum and other young talent in the NBA, Joel Embiid, after the game, was blaming the refs for the Sixers' loss yesterday, as he says that he doesn't know how it's possible for a guy to be defending him and not pick up a foul the entire game.
I don't see how it's possible for someone to guard me and have 0 fouls. So, I thought a couple of plays it wasn't fair, but God, like I said, you gotta give Al a lot of credit. Competed, he made some plays for his team, and he got them to win. But like I said, I'm too big. I guess it's the playoffs. It's my first time here, so I'm learning. But I'm too big not to be fouled every time I go to the basket or every time I post up.
Joel Embiid was, of course, referring to Al Horford here. But here's the thing. Horford wasn't the guy guarding Embiid the entire game. The Celtics also tried to use Aaron Baines, and Aaron Baines picked up 5 fouls last night. And once he picked up that 5th foul, of course, the Celtics were going to have to stick Horford on Joel Embiid to prevent Aaron Baines from fouling out. And Al Horford is one of the smartest defenders and players in general in the entire NBA. He's not going to pick up a lot of fouls on defense. And I've said this before, but Joel Embiid is kind of like the center version of James Harden. He knows how to get to the free throw line. That's something that he prides himself in, is getting to the free throw line seemingly at will. So in games like last night, where he only attempts 3 free throws, he's gonna feel like he wasn't getting his fair share of calls. Also in the news, Thunder fans, I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for you guys. Of course, getting eliminated in the first round by the Utah Jazz, and then realizing that you're gonna be stuck paying Carmelo Anthony $28 million next year. The Thunder announcing that they're gonna be bringing Billy Donovan back as the head coach, and then on top of all of that, having to worry about Paul George leaving you in the offseason. It's not a very fun time to be a Thunder fan. And that's why I thought I'd try and cheer you guys up a little bit by including this little snippet in here. As Russell Westbrook yesterday posted a video to his story of him and Paul George paintballing.
We all here, eat, beat the bang bang, what we talking about, what we doing it, bang bang.
So maybe, just maybe, these two guys are close enough friends off the court that it'll convince Paul George to stay with the Thunder. And overall, Paul George this season has been saying the same things, that he's open to re-signing with the Oklahoma City Thunder this offseason, that he loves playing with Russell Westbrook, and he's loved the experience ever since he got to OKC. So who knows? Maybe Paul George for some reason does stay, even though he'd have to realize that he'd be playing with Carmelo Anthony again. But maybe, just maybe, his bond with Russell Westbrook is strong enough to keep him there. But then again, you have to remember that Kevin Durant left Russell Westbrook. KD and Russ were much closer than Paul George and Russ will ever be. So if KD can leave Russell Westbrook in OKC all by himself, Paul George can for sure leave Russ in OKC with Melo. And our last story of the day comes to us in the form of Stephen Curry and Steve Kerr kind of accusing Rajon Rondo of being a dirty player. We all know that Rondo blatantly tried to trip Draymond Green in Game 3. Everyone saw that. It's well known that's what he tried to do. However, there was something else in this game that kind of went unnoticed by a majority of NBA fans. That was when Rajon Rondo seemingly tried to take a swipe at Stephen Curry's ankle. And before I tell you anything else about this, just take a look at the play. Alright, so did you see it? Did you see the foot of Rondo kind of glide over the floor under Curry's left ankle? Some people are saying that this was Rondo trying to hurt Curry's ankle, and others were saying this was him trying to get out of the way so he didn't hurt Curry, and also so he doesn't pick up a foul by bumping Curry from behind. And honestly, I can see both sides here. I do want to point out though, if Rondo was going for the ankle of Curry, he was going for the wrong one. Curry has a lot of problems with his right ankle. The one Rondo went for was the left ankle. So anyways, while it's kind of up for debate what Rondo's intentions might have been there, Steve Kerr and Stephen Curry both feel as if he had some pretty ill intentions on that play.
So they're competing. I don't see anything wrong with it other than the tripping. You can't do that. I'm all for getting underneath that skin, but you can't try to step on a guy's foot or try to swipe a guy underneath his feet as he's shooting. Those are dangerous plays. So other than that, I like the competition.
Did you ask the league about any of those plays or talk to them or show them?
Yeah, possibly.
Curry saying, I got no comment. If the league wants to look into it, that's on them. We're just trying to win Game 4. Was it a dirty play by Rajon Rondo? I don't necessarily think so, and here's why. Rajon Rondo doesn't have a history of making dirty plays. Now, he might get involved in some altercations on the floor from time to time. He might have a huge competitive spirit and stuff like that, but he's never intentionally tried to hurt another player. If anything, you would think that he himself would know better than to try and hurt anyone intentionally, since he himself has been hurt intentionally before. So I'd say that, plus the fact that, Curry didn't get hurt and didn't even get touched by Rondo that play, marks it as not guilty in my book, even though I can see why some people would think it might have been intentionally might have tried but just failed to be dirty there. But since nothing happened and Rondo doesn't have a history of this, not guilty to me. Anyways, that does it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA news. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, keep getting the buckets, Team ITC, and I'm out of here. Peace!